So I'm going to give you a bit of a tutorial on the Symphony, Opus 39 number 5, second movement, March Funèbre by Charles Valentin Alkan. March Funèbre is funeral march or funeral march in French. And so the purpose of the Symphony is that Alkan was trying to make the piano sound like a symphony orchestra, similar to Charles Widder did in his organ symphony number 5, where he made about 4 or 5 movements to make the pipe organ, sound like a symphony orchestra. So it starts out almost like a typical funeral march. Notice you'll notice the pizzicato things in here would be like strings, and this would probably be a wind instrument. In this case, probably a bassoon. See how it sounds like a little bit like a symphony? Yeah, typical sad funeral march. So this is part 1 of this movement. So you see the key change to B flat minor out of F minor with the same theme, and eventually it resolves. Eventually, there's a new part. Notice the forte, so it means sounds like an effect of the orchestra being tutti. Look at all those parallel 6. Now this piano part is a little bit like all winds, and probably some horns here. And this leads to the pizzicato low strings, and it looks like this is winds and brass up there in the upper part. And now looks like pizzicatos and the staccatos and the strings, and probably a wind and brass double melody. So crease and tones, that means likely leading up to the tutti right here. Now coming up to like a wind down, which will conclude part A of this funeral march movement. And this leads to the F major section, part B. So it looks like this is mainly strings and winds and legato here. So you see that B part is repeated, that A measure thing. There is some alterations in harmony at that point. Now the sudden change to harmony to E major, but with the same aspect as other parts of part B. Winds and strings mainly. And then it increases into the tutti fortissimo again in all the orchestra. Instruments playing. Probably brass, trombones, horns, and trumpets in here. And suddenly, pianissimo. So it looks like winds only here. And this is the end of part B, and back to part A, as before. pizzicato strings, indicated by staccatos, and I think the bassoon again. So with Alkan likely using a differences in articulation to help create the what's called the orchestra effect of different instruments and the effects between them. Okay, here comes the tutti again. Orchestra, the whole orchestra plays those sustained C's, the octaves, likewise the horns. And now back to piano, so it looks like winds and brass only. Here comes the pizzicato strings in the bass, with probably strings and winds. And back to the A melody section where the melody doubles. Yeah, some variation here, of course. And once again, a crescendo lead to tutti again. And of course, it dies away, but watch out. Just like Rossini's La Cazzanadra, there's the timpani roll. And of course, a fragment of part A, and then a big crescendo in octaves to the final tutti to the final 4 measures of the movement. So overall, this second movement, the funeral march from Alkan's Symphony, Opus 39, number 5, is effective. It creates an effect of what a symphony orchestra would look like if he composed the movement using only the piano. And I think it works out. It's you see evidence of like different instruments, like the horn section, all the tutti sections, the strings only, the loud brass, and all that. So in a funeral march that lasts only about 4 minutes, and so that's basically my summary of this piece. And get ready for some more tutorials on these and other classical pieces in the next video.